Hey, what's up, y'all? This is MadMave. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be reviewing Dune Part 1. Dune is directed by Denis Villeneuve, and he's a director that I've admired for a very long time. So, did I actually get what was going on when it comes to all the concepts, the lineage and, who's fighting who? And do you have to go and read the book before you go and watch this movie? And I'm gonna say no. I feel like I got everything that was going on in this movie. I feel like everything's presented to you. It's almost like that movie that that's trying to give you exposition, but the way that they do it, I feel like is with ease. When it comes to this cast, also, I'm talking about the director and everything, and I didn't even talk about Greg Fraser, which is the DP of this movie, and the cinematicness of just every shot is like perfect. I can't talk enough when it comes to just the shots. I mean, one simplistic thing about the shot usage that I like is, again, this big world, and then they'll have these shots where it's like maybe just two small people and running across the desert, and this big thing like comes from the back, and you think that you've seen it before and everything like that, but the way that it's shot and the way that when it comes to the VFX team and what they put on, it's almost seamless. It almost feels really real once you're like into the movie, and I really appreciate that about Greg Fraser, which again, he is also the DP for the cinematographer for the Batman. So if you haven't seen that trailer, go and check it out. Understand that that's the same guy that shot this movie, and he did not disappoint. When it comes to the cast, they did not disappoint too. Again, the structure of this movie, Denis Villeneuve, Greg Fraser, and also, Oscar Isaac, Timothee Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson. Who else is in this movie? Jason Momoa. There's just so many people in this movie that it's not even about just it being them. They all, as actors, did a great job. There's just a lot of people in here that I feel that you'll care for, you'll be attached in some way, you'll have some type of interest. I will say that Jason Momoa was the standout character for me. He isn't the main person when it comes to this story, but every single time he shows up, it's amazing, and I'm just glad that I was really all for him when it comes to the Aquaman thing, because I feel like it's not about me just liking him. I think it's his best performance. So when it comes to Timothée Chalamet's character, I've never actually seen Timothée Chalamet actually act before. I've heard that he's like really good. I've even heard that he's supposed to be like the next Daniel Day-Lewis and everything. So I was really psyched to see how he did for this movie, and he definitely impressed me playing the role of Paul. I definitely understand now what people are talking about. So if you had any worries about this kid being in this movie, like, don't worry. I felt like he carried the movie just fine, especially with the supporting cast, and with Rebecca Ferguson. I feel like maybe like part her movie too also, but Timothée Chalamet definitely is somebody that I really appreciate what he brought to the movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing Wonka. Willy Wonka, you do know there's a Willy Wonka film, just to let you know. So with the given that he's a really good actor, and I started getting that through the film once I just like totally had Timothée Chalamet disappeared and just looked at him as like Paul himself. There's one particular scene that I wanted to talk about in this review that actually kind of explains everything when it comes to just the feel of this movie, what the main character is actually, his intentions, his goals, of what he's going for, his motivations. So there's a specific scene with Oscar Isaac and Timothée Chalamet, and they're in the grass, and there's these houses, these small houses that they're walking along, and it cinematically looks great. Greg Fraser, and they were just walking along, and it's like this father and son conversation. The son wants to help out when it comes to certain things, and the dad is kind of just, kind of tempering him and making sure that, hey, like it's gonna take time. We need you to stay back because you're very important to the cause and everything. And they just had a talk, and I love the dynamic of them and how they were talking back and forth. And you can tell there's certain things that he wanted from his father to work out, and you can tell the father does his job, but definitely with that conversation, you can see, his intentions are just aligned with his son's too. He's just trying to make him understand that there's a way of doing things. And I feel like that's something that the character was just trying to learn the whole way, and that's one of the things that he's going to go through when it comes to the movie, of just trying to follow in his father's footsteps, and also just having he has abilities. I'm not going to say what, but those abilities come from his mother, played by Rebecca Ferguson, which is Lady Jessica, and she did an awesome job. But Lady Jessica is connected with this coven, or at least I've seen it more of a witch coven type of thing, and it's called the Bene Gestures. And then the Bene Gestures don't even like her son, so it's this whole thing that he has to deal with. And I just felt like it's definitely got the coming of age type of element to it when you really look and really understand Paul and his motivations and what he's going through, especially after that scene. At least that's what I got. But there's obviously a certain amount of occurrences when it comes to, the storyline of like why everybody's fighting, and these certain occurrences that basically make our character go through what he's going through. It's all about the spice. So there's a planet called Arrakis, and they have this certain substance called spice, and there's a certain community that lives, a community of our species of people that live on this planet, and they're called Furman. These Furman have blue eyes that they basically took upon later after living with the spice, and the worms that live there also, which they see the worm as a religious symbol, or as they worship it, and they call it Shalud. I think I'm saying it right, Shalud. When it comes to this spice though, it's supposed to be a health benefit for them also, so it's really important for them. And when it comes to Paul's, where Paul's coming from and the other houses, they actually go there to take the spice. There is a house of Harkins, which they look kind of different and menacing when it comes to their planet. I forgot exactly what planet they come from, but when they go to Arrakis, they take a lot of their spice, which they use for intergalactic travel. So it's, for what they say in the movie, it's one of the most important substances in the known universe. So when it comes to the house of Atreides, which is Paul and Oscar Isaac's, the Duke's place, which I think is called Khalid. Let me not say that word, but they come from a different planet, and the houses are like all connected, and they have contracts that let them know, I guess, when they can go and get spice. This movie had so many different tones, and that's what I liked about it. It can get you happy when it wanted to make you happy. It can be dramatic, and dramatic and trying to say something when it needs to say something. It has a sprinkle, like a great layer of sprinkle through the whole movie that is like comedy. It's very light, it's not comedy all the time, but I felt, just for the movie and how they put it together, I felt like the comedy was just enough for it not to be too much. And then surprisingly, and this was the most shocking thing when it comes to the movie, is how dark it can be, how brutal it can be and how creepy it can be at times. I just felt like for the movie and what it was being a PG-13 movie, far as those parts, it definitely shows. And I think its name is Scar. He is the villain, pretty much the villain of this movie. And when you see him, definitely you feel that darkness and just a sinisterness from him when it comes to it. So when it comes to the cons of this movie, I can say that, not that much. It can feel sluggish to some people. I can see how it can feel sluggish to some people, but again, know the movie that you're watching. Once it starts, you know exactly what type of movie you're watching. You know that it's gonna be a little bit slower than usual, but you got like plenty of action things that really cool things that are happening through the movie. So it's not a snooze fest like that. It's not just talking all day, but definitely it's just a slower movie. And if you know that, and if you're going with it, I think the time just flows by. So when it comes to another con, I would say that the music was awesome. Hans Zimmer killed it again. The one thing I would say is the yells, it's like the lady yelling and stuff. Like, I guess it brought me back to Justice League, because there's a lady that's yelling and everything in the score for Justice League, and that, yeah. So yeah, it just reminded me of that, which again, a nitpick and only maybe even a personal thing, because I just remember that. So another con was that I feel that because it's a part one, you definitely feel that abrupt ending, but and then when you look at everything in whole, you think that you went through a lot, which there's a lot going on, and that's why it's such a good movie. There's a lot to like bite onto, but if you think about it, there wasn't too much that went on. I would say that pretty much the whole movie is all about world building and character development. You know what I mean? In this movie, that's pretty much all the things that you feel, which is, it was all great. I definitely wouldn't change it, and I feel like he did a great adaptation of this movie. So for the score for this movie, I give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. So if you like this video, press that like button. And if you want more notifications and just want to know when I come out with a video, press that subscribe button and you can get that. And for people that seen Dune, please comment down below. Let me know if you like it, if you didn't like it. I'm definitely interested in knowing somebody else's views, because I'm just a regular person doing this. I got my views and y'all got y'all's. I would love to know. But for now, y'all have a great day, great life. MadMave is out.